Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. There is looming tension between the Azimio One Kenya Alliance Party and the Kenya Kwanza team. Apparently, Opiyo Wandayi is raising a flag over a mega project that is supposed to take place in Eldoret. There is a proposed construction of a health facility in Eldoret Iten Road that will cost taxpayers money 28 billion Kenyan shillings. And this project is a 6-story building hospital that is going to be constructed in a 200-acre of land that has been identified, and apparently it has been cleared by NEMA. Now, this project is going to have 4,000 bed capacity. If you compare that to the largest public health facility that we currently have in Kenya, which is Kenyatta National Hospital, Kenyatta has got a bed capacity of 1,800. So compare that to the 4,000 bed capacity, this project is going to be 3 times larger than Kenyatta National Hospital. Now, this is the center of controversy between Azimio Party and the Kenya Kwanza team. Because Opiyo Wandayi is saying that this project, when you look at it, it has got everything to suggest that it is going to be a cash cow for some few politicians who will pocket the money that is supposed to build this project, and then the project will halt. And the reason they're saying this, they're drawing their facts from the previous governments. They're saying that history has shown that any government which comes to power always starts and initiates some mega projects only to benefit a few politicians, then they will leave that project pending. And they're saying that among them, a good example is the Anglo-leasing fraud that took place when Kibaki came to power. And they're saying that Kenyans should resist this project until several opaque questions that are shrouding this project are answered. Now, they are asking several questions. One of them is that this mega project is not following the due process that is supposed to take place. Number one, they're saying that it has not been taken to the relevant parliamentary committees like the Parliamentary Health Committee, which should debate and declare it. And they are also raising questions that the government is supposedly saying that there is a gazette notice to this project. But they have looked for this gazette notice and they're saying it is not accessible to the public. And so they're saying that there is a lot of opaqueness in this project and an air of conspiracy that should point to Kenyans that these are signs and symptoms of a corrupt deal that will soon milk them of their hard-earned money, and it will end nowhere. And the Azimio fraternity is also saying that the idea and the motivation behind building this mega project is one that is awkward and very discriminatory. Why? They're saying that this project is only meant to perpetuate politics of patronage and rewarding those who voted for William Ruto. Because they're saying that less than 6 months into office, William Ruto is proposing a mega project to his people in Eldoret. And they're saying that this is going to be a waste of resources and lack of equity in distribution of these resources. Because if you look at the geographical demarcation in Kenya, there are areas which really need hospital. There are counties that do not have even level 5 hospital. And they are raising questions that instead of giving Eldoret such a mega health facility, Eldoret already has got the Moi Referral and Teaching Hospital, and they're saying that that is supposed to serve that area, Rift Valley, Nyanza and Western. And they're saying that instead of giving this much capacity of money in this project in an area which already has a big hospital, then they should look at two things. One, they should be targeting the areas that do not have hospital. They're saying that areas like maybe Pokot and the northeastern, places that do not have a really good capacity hospital which can help the area, then they should identify those areas. And they are also saying that in areas where we already have established hospitals, then we should uplift them, give them enough staff and facilities. You all understand that sometimes you go to a hospital and you are told that you should wanakupima alafu wanakwambia enda ununue dawa. And so the Azimio is saying that let us try and replenish the already established hospitals that we have. I want to pose and just ask you one question. Looking at the explanation that the Azimio is giving concerning the process that they say is opaque, and their argument that Eldoret already has the Moi referral and teaching hospital, and therefore the Ruto administration should look for another area to establish a hospital. I don't know what you think. Do you think the Azimio is just playing politics, or do you think they have a valid point here? Resource distribution is something that has been a source of controversy between the ruling government and the opposition. Do you think this is a white elephant project that will end up into people's pockets if you followed the politics in Kenya? Because it seems like Opiyo and I is fully convinced that before we know it, Kenya is going to lose money like we had in Kimarel, and you remember the Kimarel Dam. And they're saying that we should be very careful and Kenyans should unite together to condemn this. And it's saying that all these questions that they are raising as Azimio must be answered before the project takes off. And let me tell you something, you can take this to the bank, that those who are supporting Azimio are going to support the questions that Opiyo and I and the fraternity is asking. But those who are supporting the government will start blaming Azimio as people who are just playing dirty politics. And I only feel that I'm waiting for people like Murkomen, because they will go back and tell the people of Eldoret that there are some people who do not want development projects to take place in Eldoret. But when I looked at the politics around this, I was reminded of our deputy president, who has been fighting for the rights of his people, and he says that he's got no apology because he was elected to represent and fight for their rights. You remember the saga surrounding the removing of long distance vehicles from the CBD to Green Park, and how it elicited a lot of sharp reaction from the deputy president. I now understand that while Rigathi Gachagua is making noise about his people, he knows what he's doing. Because it seems that this is a government of two regions, the Rift Valley and Mount Kenya. Why am I saying so? The other time the Law Society of Kenya went to court to stop the vetting of principal secretaries. Why? Because out of 51, 13 were coming from Rift Valley, from one particular ethnic group actually, and 13 from Mount Kenya. And all the appointments that William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua have made ever since they took oath of office only points out to the fact that they are favoring Mount Kenya and Rift Valley. So when you see Rigathi Gachagua making noise, he knows very well that William Ruto knows how he is playing his politics. He's now taking a mega project to Eldoret. And even though William Ruto does not make noise, he will have his foot soldiers defending this project, whether it is good or bad, whether the questions that are being raised shall have been answered or not. And this is the reason why I see Gachagua, who understands this government. He knows very well that Ruto anachukua yake, so hata yeye lazima apigania yake. The other question that is being raised here, if I think it's the last point that I have, is that this project is being serviced by national government resources. But they're saying that after its completion, it is going to be handed over to Uasin Gishu County. And they are wondering, when a national government fully supports a project to its full capacity from the foundation to its completion and the facilities and doctors, how then do you hand over this to the Uasin Gishu County government? Because they feel that even if this project is going to be built, then it should be a national hospital. And the reason why maybe they want to give it back to the Uasin Gishu is because, we only have one national hospital, if I may say, the Kenyatta National Hospital. And so they don't want to mix. And then, number two, they want Eldoret or the Uasin Gishu to own this hospital. And you know what that means? The moment they will take it as their own, it might not really serve. And even those who are going to be treated in that facility will go there with the full knowledge that this is a project of Uasin Gishu. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are several questions that are being leveled around this. Tell me what you think. We are going to look at how things transpire, but I can assure you that when Parliament reconvenes, this is going to be one of the center of fireworks between Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza team. I don't know who will blink first, but your guess is as good as mine.